Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the next topic of chapter 5, inheritance of two genes. Mendel also worked with and crossed pea plants that differed in two characters, as in seen in the cross between a pea plant that has seeds with yellow color and round shape and the one that had seeds of green color and wrinkled shape. We can see here that round and yellow are the dominant characters while wrinkled and green are the recessive ones. Mendel found that the results from crossing the parents had yellow colored and round shaped seeds. Here, can you tell which of the characters in pair, yellow, green color and round wrinkled shape, was dominant? Thus, yellow color was dominant over green and round shape over wrinkled. These results were identical to those that he got when he made separate monohybrid crosses between yellow and green seeded plants and between round and wrinkled seeded plants. Let us see the genotype symbol Y for dominant yellow seed color and small y for recessive green color. Capital R for round shape and small r for wrinkled shape of the seeds. The genotype of the parents can then be written as YY, RR and small r, small y. The cross between the two plants can be written down as in figure 5.7 shown the genotypes of the parent plants. The gametes capital R, capital Y and small y unite on fertilization to produce F1 hybrid capital R, capital Y, small y. When Mendel self hybridized the F1 plants, he found 3/4 of the F2 plants had yellow seeds and 1/4 had green. The yellow and green color segregated in 3:1 ratio. Round and wrinkled sheets shape also segregated in 3:1 ratio, just like in a monohybrid cross. Here is the diagrammatic representation of the dihybrid cross. P generation gives gametes and the F2 generation is like this. Law of independent assortment. In a dihybrid cross, the phenotypes round yellow, round green, and wrinkled green appeared in the ratio 9:3:3:1. Such a ratio was observed for several pair of characters that Mendel studied. The ratio of 9:3:3:1 can be derived as a combination of series of 3 yellow, 1 green with 3 round, 1 wrinkled. Their derivation can be written as 3 round, 1 wrinkled, 3 yellow, 1 green is equals to 9 round yellow, 3 wrinkled yellow, 3 round green is to 1 wrinkled green. Based upon such observations on dihybrid cross, that is crosses between the plants of differing two traits, Mendel proposed a second set of generalization that we call Mendel's law of independent assortment. The law states that when two pairs of traits are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of characters is independent of the other pair of characters. The Punnett square can be effectively used to understand the independent segregation of the two pairs of gene during meiosis and the production of eggs and pollen in the F1, that is RRRYY plant. Consider the segregation of one pair of genes, capital R and small r. 50% of the gametes have the gene capital R and the other 50% have small r. Now, besides each gamete having either capital R or small r, it should also have the allele capital Y or small y. The important thing to remember here is that segregation of 50% capital R and 50% small r is independent from the segregation of 50% capital Y and 50% small y. Therefore, 50% of the small r bearing gametes capital Y and 50% small y. Similarly, 50% of this capital R bear gametes has capital Y and other 50% has a small y. Thus, there are 4 genotypes of the gametes, 4 types of pollen and 4 types of eggs. These are the 4 types: capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small y, each with the frequency of 25%, that is 1/4 of the total gametes produced. When we write down the 4 types of eggs and the pollen on the two sides of a Punnett square, it is very easy to derive the composition of the zygotes that give rise to F2 plants. We can see here in the diagram how the gametes are produced and how the F1 generation is selved. Round yellow, wrinkled green parents were taken. Homozygous parents will produce homozygous gametes, and the F1 generation we get is a heterozygous one. Capital R, small r, capital Y, and small y. After selfing the F1 generation, we find 4 types of gametes, 4 types of pollen, and 4 types of eggs. When we arrange them on a Punnett square, then we get 16 progenies. Genotype. After analysis of these 16 progenies, their genotypic and phenotypic ratios can be found out. We get the phenotypic ratio to be 9:3:3:1. Next is chromosomal theory of inheritance. Mendel published his work on inheritance of characters in 1865, but for several reasons it remained unrecognized till 1900. The reasons are: first, communication was not easy as it is now in those days, and his work could not be widely publicized. Secondly, his concept of genes or factors as a stable, discrete unit that controlled the expression of traits and of the pair of alleles which didn't blend with each other was not accepted by his contemporaries as an explanation for the apparently continuous variation seen in the nature. Thirdly, Mendel's approach for using mathematics to explain biological phenomena was totally new and unacceptable to many of the biologists of his time. फर्स्ट रीज़न ये था कि उस टाइम पे कम्युनिकेशन ईजी नहीं था, इसलिए मेंडल का वर्क किसी को पता ही नहीं चला. सेकेंड रीज़न कि उसने फैक्टर और जीन जिसकी बात की थी वो डिस्कवर नहीं हुए थे, तो उसके कॉन्टेम्पोरेरीज ने उसे एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया. एंड थर्डली कि मेंडल की जो मैथमेटिकल अप्रोच थी बायोलॉजिकल डेटा के लिए वो भी किसी ने एक्सेप्ट नहीं की. एंड फाइनली, दो मेंडल्स factors were discrete unit, he couldn't provide any physical proof for the existence of the factors or say what they are made up of. In 1900, 3 scientists, D. Rice, Correns, and von Schirmack, independently rediscovered Mendel's result on the inheritance of characters. Also by this time, due to advancements in microscope that were taking place, scientists were able to carefully observe cell division. This led to the discovery of the structures in the nucleus that appeared to double and divide just before each cell division. These were called chromosomes. By 1902, the chromosome movement during meiosis had been worked out. Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri noted that the behavior of the chromosome was parallel to the behavior of genes and used chromosome movement to explain the Mendel's law. Here they gave a comparison between the behavior of chromosome and genes. First, genes occur in pair, chromosome also occur in pair, segregate at the time of gamete formation such that only one of each is transmitted to the gamete. Same as with the chromosomes. Third, independent pairs of segregate independently of each other. One pair segregates independently of the another pair of chromosomes. Here, A represents the gene and B represents the chromosome. During anaphase of meiosis 1, the two chromosomes pair align at the metaphase plate independently of each other. We can see in the diagram. To understand this, compare the chromosomes of 4 different colors in the left and right columns. In the left column, possibility 1, orange and green, is segregating together, but in the right hand column, the orange chromosome is segregating with the red chromosomes. Sutton and Bowery argued that the pairing and separation of the chromosomes would lead to the segregation of a pair of factors that carried. Sutton united the knowledge of chromosomal segregation with Mendelian principles and called it the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Following this synthesis of ideas, experimental verification of the chromosomal theory of inheritance by Thomas H. Morgan and his colleagues led to the discovering the basis of the variation that asexual reproduction produced. Morgan worked with the tiny fruit flies Drosophila melanogaster, which were found very suitable for such studies. They could be grown on simple synthetic medium in the laboratory. They complete their life cycle within about 2 weeks, and a single mating could produce a large number of progeny flies. Also, there was a clear differentiation of the sexes. The male and the female flies are easily distinguishable. Also, it has many types of hereditary variation that can be seen with low power microscopes. We'll study about the work of the Morgan over linkage and recombination in the next lectures.